Welcome to the Objective Perspective. I'm Chase,
I'm Joe.
and we're going to be talking to you about one little piece of news that we found, and then it's just us talking about games we've been playing because there ain't nothing happening after E3 like normal.
Ooh, doggy.
But let's get into the big news, they would say, as in the SNES Classic launches in September for 80 buckaroos.
Breaking news.
Yeah, it's a September 29th release. It's big. We're super hyped for the NES. Now they can get super hyped for the SNES.
Do you think
Yay.
do you think the SNES is a bigger deal than the NES Classic? Like, I think the NES Classic has more pull to me.
Yeah, I think the SNES has a bigger pool. I think it has a bigger game library that people like too.
Oh, I think the NES does.
Oh, I think the SNES has more pool because it's like I think that's when like kids really got into it. Like us kids, us
Yes.
millennials got into it, and it has like a better game library. But I don't think it's as like
Iconic.
as like mystic as the NES itself was. You know what I mean?
I think of like the older people would gravitate towards the NES in a way they wouldn't gravitate towards the SNES.
See, I think they'll gravitate the same way towards the SNES.
Okay.
Almost like they're like, okay, yeah, I'll just do the SNES. I got the NES, I'll do the SNES. Like
Yeah.
they're the same people. And as we've already found out, pre-orders here have sold out. You said.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'd be cool to compare the sales, but it seems like sales will be an irrelevant measurement here because of how Nintendo's manufacturing this.
Yeah, Nintendo does the classic. I'm just gonna not give you a lot, and you deal with that. See you later on Nintendo, and then they just leave, and you're like, oh, okay.
So there's like a couple talking points we can get into here with this. We can talk about the lineup for the machine, we can talk about what
Yeah,
it means for its window it's coming out, we can talk about the virtual console and how that's still not on the Switch.
yeah, until next year. And so let's before we get into the online part, let's just talk about the lineup. I'll go through the games real quick,
Okay.
and you will talk it out. Talk what we think is right, what we think is wrong.
There are
Um,
20 games, technically
I
21.
Yeah, so I'm super interested in one of them specifically because it's the first ever release of this game ever. Uh,
Official release, because the ROM was
yeah,
leaked.
yes, but we'll get into it because like this would be the reason I'd want to get this, but the ROM was leaked a long time ago and I've already played it. So, but we'll get to that one. Let's start from the top of this list that I'm reading is Contra 3 Alien Wars.
Good pick.
It's a great pick. Contra 3 is a great game, good SNES game. Who's loving some Contra? Crazy people. Second pick on there. I'm not gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's dumb. Donkey Kong Country is on
Important
there.
pick. You gotta have it.
Yeah, I think Donkey Kong Country is good. I enjoy a Donkey Kong Country. I don't think it's amazing or anything, but it's a fun game.
Notable not Donkey Kong Country 2.
Yeah, or 3. I think they're all pretty good. Is the thing.
I think 2 is the one people point to as the best.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
But it's
Final
understandable
Fantasy.
why they would just put the 1. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I was gonna say Final Fantasy 3, but I was wrong. We'll get to that after.
You going?
Earthbound.
Yeah, you gotta go in alphabetical order, man.
Sorry,
Earthbound.
look, I just woke up 20 minutes ago.
I got a lot of respect for them putting Earthbound in. I think that's awesome. I think that's
Yeah,
a great way to get people to play that game now.
I also, yeah, and that's like one of my favorite games too. Is Earthbound of like nostalgia and like gameplay and story wise. I think it's a real good classic of a game. And I think it's really good to play that on a SNES. I think because man, does that game feel antiquated now?
Oh god.
Final
I
Fantasy 3,
which is 6.
which is 6. Okay, so that's definitely 6, is what they're saying.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. I was like, I don't think I thought Final Fantasy 3 was a NES game. I didn't think it was a SNES game.
It is.
Okay,
But 3 published in America was 3 or 6
yeah.
was 3. So yeah, 6 not 4 makes sense because 6 is sort of the one that gets all the accolades. I think that's what people would look for.
It
Only
is
one of them though. They only put 6 in.
Yeah, I mean that's the one people love. It's probably the best graphical one for that system at the time too. So like they probably thought of that as well. But that definitely 6 is the like highest. Like oh, I love 6, and that's all the people love.
6 is on a pedestal for sure.
Yep. F-Zero bringing back the classics.
Great pick. We got all great picks so far.
Yeah, I mean these are all so far all good picks, and we're gonna continue with Kirby Superstar.
My favorite SNES game.
Yeah, Kirby Superstar is one of the best games. You can just end it there.
Full stop.
Full stop. Kirby's Dream Course is next.
Not necessarily one of the best games, but still pretty good.
It's a fun
Good
Kirby
pick.
game.
It's a fun pick.
It's a fun pick. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. A lot of
Of
people
course.
think this is one of the best games ever made. It's definitely up there. I think like those. I think you can say there's a lot of like these is one of the best games ever, and I think there's a lot of games that are like that, and more than people say there are. And I think this is one of them.
I think this game has to be on here, of course.
Yeah, along with Mega Man X.
My second favorite SNES game.
Yeah, that's a fantastic game.
I'm so glad this is in this collection because I honestly didn't think it would be.
Yeah, neither did I. You don't see Mega Man X get a lot of like love all the time.
And I don't
It's
know
like,
why.
I think it's because like if you're gonna bring the nostalgia factor back, you bring back the original Mega Mans, and if you want to like do new Mega Man, you do new Mega Man. You don't like get the in between, which was Mega Man X, even though that's like one of the best Mega Mans of all time. You know what I mean?
This is a great collection so far.
Yeah. Secret of Mana, a game you haven't played, I've played, and still understand why people like to this day. Maybe
But
one day I'll go back and enjoy it.
It'll make a lot of people happy that it's there.
Yeah, it's widely loved, so put it on there. I don't get it, but I think it's good to have things people like on there. There you go.
Yeah.
Star Fox 1, which is not a good game, and Star Fox 2, which is also not a great game,
Go
but
figure.
getting its first international release official, which is really interesting and really cool. I really like this. That's going to happen. That's super cool to me.
It's a cool fan servicey thing.
Yeah, Star Fox 1 and 2 are bad. They run really poorly. They're like the thing they did cool. All right, I'll pull back here real quick. Release the hood. All Star Fox games are bad. Just gonna throw that out there.
Revolutionary graphics though at the time.
Yeah, at the time, each time they come out, they're really cool looking, but I don't think they're really ever great games that much. They're all like Star Fox 1 is pretty interesting when it came out. Star Fox 2 never did come out. And Star Fox 64 is just Star Fox 2. It was Star Fox 1 again, and like no like real improvement. And then Star Fox 0 is the time everyone woke up. And an adventure and whatever the other one for the GameCube are, people forgot they were alive. A Star Fox Assault and Adventure. There you go.
Hey, I don't know if I've said this on our show publicly, but I really do believe that Star Fox is Nintendo's worst IP.
That's like definitively true. They've had like, you could talk about games that are bad for them, and you'd be right that every Star Fox game is a game that like you could be like, that's not that great, and a lot of people that could be the most unloved. It's probably the most unloved franchise that got its biggest love, and then no one liked its biggest love, which was in the Wii U Star Fox Zero because that game is trash.
Moving on.
Man, I hate gamepad controls.
Just bury it.
Yeah, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Hyper Fighting. Holy shit, I'm losing it. It's
Great inclusion.
Street Fighter 2 is one of the best fighting games. People say I don't like fighting games that much because I'm me.
Crown of the genre.
Crown of the genre. Super Castlevania 4, super fun Castlevania game.
Super good pick.
Yeah, very fun Castlevania game. I think it's a little too easy, but I really do like it. Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
And if Castlevania's too easy for you, just jump into Ghouls and Ghosts.
God.
I love Ghouls and Ghosts.
I've played original Ghouls and Ghosts one time, and I did not beat it. I beat it, but didn't beat it the right way.
You didn't beat it the second time.
Yeah, and I said, fuck that. I'm just not going to put myself through that.
One day I want to do it, but
it's really hard, and I don't know how much harder or easier Super Ghouls and Ghosts is, so I'd have to try that out. Super Mario Kart, got the Mario Karts back, baby. I think Mario Kart's legitimately a series that gets better almost each time a new one comes out.
I agree.
And so I wouldn't want to play it, but I think it's cool to be on there to like try out the old stuff. But like I've been playing Mario Kart 8 recently. I've been playing that, and I'm really enjoying that. So I think I'd rather just keep playing Mario Kart 8. But it's cool to be on there. Yeah, the Deluxe. I got it for the Switch. Did my 2 games for the Switch: Zelda and Mario Kart 8. Games I didn't own Mario Kart 8, but I already own Zelda. So Switch is really killing it right now.
Mario Kart 8's fantastic though.
It's probably my favorite Mario Kart game or second favorite. It's one of the two. It's fantastic.
But yeah, people still love the original. People still have their favorites in between the canon.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, people like Mario Kart 64, even though it's like the worst Mario Kart.
I know,
people
and they're
still
very
really like
passionate about it, and it's
yeah.
I want to respect it. Like you do, you man.
I mean, yeah, I can respect you, be like, hey man, you have your game choice, but I can also have my opinion and go, but that game's solid trash.
Now Double Dash,
Double
solid
Dash,
good.
solid good. Mario Kart DS, one of the best.
Snaking, not good.
Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, my favorite SNES game. If we're
Yeah,
really
what a
get into
great pick! Like this
that's like a game you can play anytime. It is always good. That game has like the only thing that's aged badly about it is its graphics are just super fucking weird looking now.
I still
Like,
think the graphics are like really cool and like attractive for that game.
Yeah, I don't. I think they've changed from cool to me to really fucking weird, and I like that more as I've gotten older, almost because I'm really fucking weird in my tastes. And that game has like some of my favorite looking things to it, but that game looks fucking weird.
It's got a super unique style.
Yeah, and then Super Mario World also just gonna put another good game on there. Just
the game that we knew would be in there no matter what.
Yep, I think you could probably put a couple other Mario games on there. But it's fine. It's fine.
Well, what other Mario game would you put on there?
It's true. I guess you wouldn't put another Super Mario. I guess that's it. I guess that is the one you'd want.
Putting the deluxe collection seems dumb to me because those are NES games that were remastered for the SNES, and I feel that's not right, especially when you have the NES Classic already.
But we don't have the NES Classic anymore is also a second argument to that.
I mean, sure, but also digital console, whatever, should be online.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all scream. Super Punch Out. I don't know if people
Super
not
Metroid.
like this one. Oh, Super Metroid. Sorry. Super Metroid, a classic. My second favorite NES game.
Yes.
SNES game. There you go. Skipped it because I love it too much that I can't even talk about it.
Super Punch Out.
Super Punch Out. Is that the Punch Out people? Do people like this Punch Out game? I like the Wii one, and
people like the NES one.
Okay, so people do not like the SNES one that much.
I don't know if people don't like it, but I never hear it get much love.
Gotcha. Because I really like the Wii one, and people say that they don't like that one, so I just don't trust people anymore with their opinions on games. Oh, yeah, Super Punch Out's weird. I've seen it played. I remember seeing it played. It has a different main character. It's very strange. It's a different kind of... It's the same game, but a different kind of game at the same time. It's all right. Yoshi's Island, last pick, final pick, throwing it down with Yoshi's Island. How do you feel about Yoshi's Island? That's a loaded question.
I played it on the Game Boy when I was very young, and I liked it. I thought it was an alright game. I thought it was fun at the time. It's like not great though.
It's like a really fun kids game.
Yeah.
That's a kids game. All right, there you go. I found it.
I
found it.
I actually like thought deeply about the kids game question and came back with like some deeper answers to that question.
Throw them at me.
I feel like if a game is for everybody, calling it a kids game isn't the right way to label it. I think it's better to call something a kids game if it's specifically like only enjoyable by kids.
Okay, I can see that.
And I think it's a better way to distinct them if you say like mature versus non-mature. I think that's a better way to
I guess it's a better way to say it.
Here.
Yes, I agree with you on that one, to say like this is a mature audience, like this is for mature audiences and this is for everyone, I guess is what you'd say.
Yeah, I think there's just more distinct ways we can label
Kirby's for everyone. Kirby can hug anyone and love them.
Exactly.
All right,
but Freddy Fish is a kid's game.
No, Freddy Fish for everyone, as we had to prove on our show.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So,
please excuse yourself.
What do you think of that lineup?
That's a great lineup.
We were going through that, and when we originally made our list, we were kind of flippant. You know, we were like, oh, whatever. Like, we don't even feel that good. But then looking at this lineup, those are all pretty much very solid games.
Yeah, those are all really good games. I'm into all of them, I'd say, almost. There's a few I'm not super into, like Secret of Mana. I've never been into as much as other people have, but that's a pretty good list.
I legitimately think they're just really criminally missing one game.
What's that game? Throw it at me.
Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, I agree with Chrono Trigger. You have your RPG on there. You have Secret of Mana, you got Final Fantasy 3. It's all you need. There's no games better than those two.
I think that's the only one that's criminally missing, because the SNES is categorized as this master JRPG system to a lot of people. They'll say it's the golden era, which I super don't actually agree with. But
yeah,
I do think you have to include Chrono Trigger, because you do have Mario RPG, you do have Final Fantasy VI, Secret of Mana is kind of in there. That's it. Those are all the JRPGs they got. It would have been nice to see one more for something so powerfully identifying for that console, especially what people often say as the best SNES game. Chrono Trigger usually ranks as number one, if not top three, behind like Zelda, Mario, and Metroid, top four then maybe. But
Yeah, that's a game that deserves to be on there. It's one of the best. You could say it's one of the best games ever made, and I bet a lot of people will make that argument.
totally.
That should be on there. Maybe take off Star Fox 1 and just put on Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, but that's Nintendo IP. They're gonna keep Star Fox. That's
I
an
know.
easy one. Easy
Yeah,
buckets.
they're definitely gonna keep Star Fox and never make another good Star Fox game again. I have a lot of
You mean
nostalgia for Starbucks.
In
I have
the
a lot of
first place,
nostalgia.
they didn't make a good one.
I have nostalgia for that series like heavily. So like I don't like a lot of them, but like I want there to be a good one, you know?
You believe it's in there somewhere.
Yeah, I definitely believe a space shooter can be fun. Like
Well,
I've played Galaga and still like it. I think they can make Star Fox fun. Like I don't
well,
know.
here's the thing. I think Kid Icarus is Nintendo's second worst IP.
Yeah,
But
but at least they release good games.
that's
That
what I'm
Kid
saying.
Icarus
Uprising is good, so we know
Uprising's
they
a
can
great
do
game.
they can do a rail shooter. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. Someone's got to give. Like, they gave it to Platinum, and like I bet Platinum's B team was on that list. To be totally honest, for Zero, 'cause that game
Which
sucks.
which B team?
Yeah, they're one of their 15. I don't even know if it was their 18. Like it used like shitty motion controls. That's what really kills it. And then like I think it also doesn't look good. Is like a thing. I think that game looks not that great.
I actually thought it looked fine. I think people went a little overboard on that, but it definitely could have been a little more impressive with just more going on. And
Yeah,
it was just like boring level design. And at the end of the day, you have to do something to make a rail shooter special, unique to stand out. There has to be something, and it can't be those shitty motion controls. It just can't.
and it can't be turning into an ostrich. Though I think that's a cool feature to add to like
It is.
switch up the level shit. But like I think there's like really good idea. I think there's like that's why like I believe there could be a good Star Fox game. There's good ideas out there for Star Fox. It just isn't motion controls. I'm sorry.
Also, this weird fear of only repeating that one story over and over again is the weirdest thing to me.
Yeah, just do something new.
They can't break the Star Fox canon.
Well, that was a Star Fox Assault. I think actually tried something different, but I'm not even sure if that ending is actually just you fight Andros again. I totally can't remember.
Is that one made by Capcom or Namco or?
I think it was. It might have been Capcom. I'm totally not sure.
I thought there was some alright parts of Assault.
Yeah. I think all those games have all right parts, and then they're just usually not that good all around though.
But
Star
yeah,
Fox Adventures, the exception of the rule, it's all good.
SNES Mini.
SNES Mini, it's coming out September 27th, 9th, whatever I said. $80. It looks. The pre-orders are only available in Europe now because everyone bought them.
They're probably not available anymore at this point.
Probably. So, welcome to the news, motherfuckers. None of it's available.
And reports are out that they're not going to be selling in 2018. Nintendo's just going to just halt production, meaning this would have a 3-month run, which sounds absurd.
It sounds like Nintendo.
But even the NES Mini went for basically a year.
I bet they're like, hey, get this SNES out. Then we'll have our online launch in 2018, and then people can just get all their the SNES library thing we're trying to hammer out. Because they don't know what their online stuff still is. They're still trying to hammer out what exactly you're paying for their online for, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're talking about, like, you could, like, have SNES games like Xbox Live Gold. You just get a few. Now they're like, all right, you just get the whole catalog, they were saying. And now, I don't even know if that's going to stay. Like, they seem so inconsistent on that stuff. They have no idea what they're going to do.
I'm super curious to find out, too.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be seeing what they're going to do next time.
For a later news segment.
For a later news segment, we'll figure out what the fuck Nintendo wants to do with its online. So they have no idea. I mean, did you see that Splatoon headset they showed off?
No, oh, is the one that connects to a million different ports? That classic one?
But like also like it runs like it runs to a million different ports, and then like I think it like audio switches the headset itself, so like you're getting like different sounds of the headset. It just sounds really bad. Like every accessory they put out almost doesn't look good. Even third party Nintendo accessories are real bad. So
I hope they have a way to analyze how many people bought and/or are using that thing, so they can just see that it's nobody.
yeah, so let's get into what we've been playing. That's the only news story we had lined up. We've been pretty busy, Joe and I. I've been a little less busy. He's been a working boy, and I've been putting a house together. But we've had time to play. I've had time to play a fair amount of video games. How about you, Joe?
I have played about a lot of video games. A
All
lot.
right, let's get into cracking with you. What's number one thing on your mind?
So, last night I platinumed Bloodborne.
Jesus.
That's what I've been doing all week.
How was the platinum?
I'm a changed man.
Do you feel
Bloodborne,
bad or good?
Bloodborne is one of the best games I think I've ever played.
Yes.
I think it is.
No, it is.
I think it is. I think I can
Yeah.
say that now.
You can say, and you say it for a lot of games. Like I always feel like it's weird that people are like, you gotta like hold like a pantheon and kick other games out. I'm like, no, it's just one of the best games I've ever played. I really liked it.
Bloodborne's fantastic, man. Like
it
everything about it is just nailed to a T.
yeah, it's an exceptionally good game.
Like consistently exceptional. And like every time you play it and every bit you play more of it, it just continues to impress you and outdo what it did 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
I absolutely love that game. Like holy shit, dude. What a game. Oh my god. This
I'm,
is
I'm
like
I'm glad you enjoyed it. But so you did all the chalice dungeons.
dude, fuck those chalice dungeons though.
All right,
Honestly.
there's the bad part I was looking for. So I'm like, the chalice dungeons aren't fun. I don't like them.
Yeah, I don't either. I was like reading online because I'm like, man, I'm really close to this platinum trophy. Like, I think I'm gonna go for it. I really want to do it. I love this game. And then everyone's like, oh, the platinum dungeons, chalice dungeons, not that bad. Not as bad as you think they are. And then I start doing it. I go, oh no, they're worse than I thought they are.
Yeah, they're actually awful. I remember doing one when I played the game originally, and I said, "This sucks. I don't believe in getting trophies that much. They're not fun for me." And we'll talk about that in a second.
I
But
almost
I
didn't
hate
do
the
it.
challenge dungeon.
I
Yeah, the
almost
challenge
broke.
dungeons are fun.
That game almost broke me at like two different bosses because you basically need to do about six or so chalice dungeons to get to one optional boss, and
Yes.
she is basically the thing you need to do to get the platinum in that game because it's actually a relatively easy platinum.
Yeah, everything else around the game, the platinum is really easy. Getting to her is really difficult.
And then there's like one or two trophies tied to getting her along the way. Like you get the Beast Claw in a Chalice dungeon later on, and that's
Yeah.
like another trophy. But it's basically all boils down to getting to her. And then I got to her, and she's easy. Like she is an easy boss.
Yeah,
I
she's not a
beat her.
difficult boss.
I beat her on my second try. Like
I've seen people play this game at like do these challenges, which I was never gonna do. I was like, well, I'll just watch someone play them because I don't want to fucking do it. It seems lame. And I don't watch them like that. Her boss seems easy, but there are bosses before her that are not easy.
I spent several hours. There were two bosses in particular I didn't think I was going to get through. And I didn't get to summon NPCs for them. I wasn't playing online. I couldn't summon anyone else. So it was just me and the boss. It was the amygdala, which
Gotcha.
I thought that one broke me, honestly.
So did you fight the amygdala in the original game?
Yes, I fought all the main and side bosses from the real game.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha. I think you need to
amygdala,
probably for the trophy for him, probably. If you
yes,
can.
you do.
Yeah.
Amygdala didn't give me a hard time originally. I think I beat him like my second try, honestly. But in this version, it's in a dungeon where you have half of your health.
Yep.
Because that's how that dungeon is laid out. So one hit from his arm attack literally kills you. So I was getting one shot.
That
And
sounds
it's
awesome.
infuriating because it's such a long fight. And he'll do his pattern where you can't hit him until he goes all the way down for safe hits. So it's such a slow and steady fight to then make one mistake from a camera bugging issue while you're backstepping, or just his arm moves in a slightly different pattern than it did before, and he'll just crush you immediately and you die.
Yep.
And oh my god, like I will say though, beating those bosses that took me 4 hours, like unbelievable feeling when I beat them. But goddamn, I was like punching shit. I was actually furious. There was so much
Is
cursing
it
in the Lungi house.
is it more of a is the feeling I sometimes have from these are different? It was it more of a feeling of relief or actual victory? Like sometimes when I feel like a game isn't being fair, like where I've done my deed or been like I don't deserve this as much. I've just been like, well, I did it, but like this wasn't a fair fight. Like there's like times where I'm like I win, and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I did that, or I'm like, whew, all right, let's go. Like, let's continue. Like, there's differences. I feel like, especially in some Bloodborne, those ending bosses. From what I saw, like people weren't like, were like, fuck yeah, I did it, you know. But a lot of them were like sighing afterwards, like, whew, all right, I did it, and like it's a depressing note.
It was a mix of both because I would get to that last sliver of health and my heart is like actually beating so fast. Like I was in this state of adrenaline, legitimately. Like I don't know the last time a game has put me in this state where I was actually shaking. I could feel it. I was in like a cold sweat. And I would get that hit where I thought he was going to kill me and I won and I would just stand up. I would be shaking and I could feel my heartbeat going at like twice as fast. It was an incredible feeling.
Yeah,
But just oh my god, dude.
that sounds all right. And what was the second boss that gave you trouble?
There was like one of the beasts. I can't remember which one. I think it was honestly just the blood-star beast again. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, you just go through repeat bosses in that dungeon because that's fun.
And then the other one that actually took me a while was the Thumerian Descent again.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, is that another difficult one? I don't feel bad about that then.
There's like a lot of them are difficult in there, and Sumerian Descent I think was like one of those ones that people considered a little hard.
He didn't seem like a hard boss because you fought him before, and he's very straightforward. You know, he's not a big scale one. I'm always a bigger fan for like the one-on-one, same size kind of fights. I don't like fighting big spectacle guys as much. And
Yeah.
he's like super reliant on parrying. So like I'm feeling, oh, this is one I can really beat. He's very down to earth and grounded. And no, he would just fuck me up. And I was just sitting there trying to parry him, and I would just, oh god, I got him though. I got him.
I'm proud of you. Yeah,
Whew.
that's a tough platinum to get, especially because the ending part is just a lot of just grind out work.
Well, for the ending, what I did is I just uploaded my save file and then just downloaded it after all three endings to redo the ending.
Yeah, yeah, no,
I'm not new game plusing that to get the ending.
I didn't mean the ending part. That's how I just meant like the challenge is just a grind. That's
Yeah.
really it. I expected you to do the upload cloud save bullshit stuff. I assumed that was gonna happen.
Well, yeah, I looked it up. I was like, "Yo, is this send you right into New Game Plus?" It was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's dumb. That should not do that."
Yeah, a lot of the new games plus stuff to get those endings is dumb. And all those the only good endings the one you get, the one you should be getting is turned into Slug Boy ending.
Well, the say yes ending is like a good ending still, but it's. I actually think it's the happiest ending, but.
But yeah, none of the endings. I think that, like because I think it's a
Of
false
course.
hope.
Yeah,
that's
of course.
and I like turning into a slug because that's fucking hilarious. And
I'm the
it
only
ends.
one that ascended, yeah. And then I fell
Yeah.
down the hole of reading lore and all the YouTube explanation, hour-long lore videos. Like, I have become what I have mocked, and it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that'll happen. I never fell down those holes because I understood because I read the descriptions a lot of stuff. I understood what I wanted to understand. I could read between some lines, but a lot of time I feel like this is one of the best cases and examples of a game that the story doesn't really matter, and it's okay to not have an amazing story that's for you and still love the game. You know?
I think the story was still really good, though, but it's definitely something where, like, people praise this storytelling style so much. I would not want every game to be Bloodborne. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, not a lot of games should try this out because a lot of games can't handle it. I don't even think Dark Souls and Bloodborne do handle it perfectly all the time. I think people like really praise these games. I think there's a lot of faults, especially the first Dark Souls. But I do like the storytelling. I think the story itself is like fun, but weak. A lot of the time, like the lore is good, but the story, like you going along with the story, is weak. Is what I'm saying. So I think you have to find that difference there because like a lot of that background stuff isn't story, it's lore. And I do like to have this difference in my head a lot because like the story is what propels you, the lore is what surrounds it.
Sure.
And what propels you, I think, isn't in the game that well. It's just a very, very simple notes. And I love the simple. I don't like the simple notes, but like the
Seek
gameplay
the
is so
pale
good
blood.
it gets you through it. Yeah, let's talk about the pale blow. Let's talk about Cthulhu monsters. Let's talk about giant
Murgo.
spiders.
Oh,
Yeah,
one game that I think has actually done a really nice job is The Last of Us, because I think they blend the traditional storytelling with the lore stuff. Like I think of when you do that, was it Ishmael kind of stuff in the sewery parts? Like
yes.
I think that's my favorite blend of that kind of note hidden stuff with a traditional character driven narrative.
I've beaten The Last of Us 4 times, I think. For some reason, that game gets me all the ways I like a game to hit me with like a very well crafted, propelled story, very Hollywood in the way I like Hollywood to be. Very much a main character you don't like and don't agree with a lot, but he's very much his own character that you control. I love those kind of characters. And then like all this good background storytelling through scenery and how things happen and like very small clips of dialogue, and also like the stuff you read I think is a little too much sometimes, but it's all very well written stuff.
Yeah.
And then I also like the combat in that game. And I'm still crazy. I think people call me crazy all the time for liking how that game plays, but I think that game plays great. I think the game plays better than all the Uncharted games.
I don't think anyone would disagree with that.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
it's
not
like,
four. Maybe not four.
I think it's still better than. I just like the combat in Last of Us. It's so slow and like you get shot once, you fall backwards, and like then shit just starts popping off everywhere.
You hit a person with a brick.
Yeah, I love walking up behind someone with a brick and just beating the shit out of them. That game's brutal in the ways that games don't get brutal anymore.
But back to Bloodborne.
Back to Bloodborne, fantastic game. Gets brutal in games ways that games don't get brutal anymore.
It's funny because I beat the game. I'm doing the challenge dungeon. Like, man, Bloodborne wasn't even like that hard. And then I'm fighting all these bullshit extra bosses. I'm like, nope, this game's fucking hard.
People overhype the difficulty of these games. So like the people who said Bloodborne was difficult are also the people who didn't do the chalice dungeons.
Yeah. Like, I think it actually wasn't that hard until the chalice dungeons, and then
no,
it got very hard.
I think it's a really good difficulty. Like it's
It
difficulty without frustrating. It's challenging while being fun.
I think it's a great scale too, because you never feel like you're not getting a lot of like blood echoes when you kill enemies. You always feel like you're getting so many, so you always feel like very powerful. Not like you're behind a curve or whatever. Like if you need to grind, you always can. Always can.
Yeah. It's and sometimes you do because like I lost like a lot of blood vials and like I had to go back and hunt for blood vials, which was like my one thing I didn't like in that game. Like I one time didn't have enough blood vials and like that was my like, all right, let's go look for blood vials.
Oh, that happened to me all the time, especially in the Talus dungeons. What I would do is I would just buy them. I didn't grind for them. I'd just buy all of them. I just killed one enemy for 30,000 souls and just buy them.
Yeah, I should have done that, but I'm like the crazy guy who's like, I cannot buy a thing. I can just get it off the enemy, and then. A year later happens and I have like a 99 in the inventory again and I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
That game's like a classic, I think. It's such a like the one game I always would say is like, hey, you should get a PS4 now. This is the game to buy it for.
I think it's easily like the best PS4 game. Like this is like a pillar of like modern gaming to me, kind of.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's super good. It's the reason why I was happy I bought my PS4. And it's great. I love that game.
I love the final boss. I think Gurman is like fantastic. I think the Moon Presence a little less so, but I love
Gurman's
the Gurman
fun.
fight.
Moon Presence is just like whatever.
Yeah. But like
yeah,
the music like that plays while you fight Gurman, and he's got this big scythe, and you're in this field of white flowers. You're getting these MGS3 vibes. Oh god.
Yeah,
so good.
It's fantastic.
Who's your favorite boss?
Favorite boss? I really like Father Gascoigne just for like being that first boss to be like, hey, fuck you, you need to learn how to parry, because I like didn't get it and then I got it. You know, like totally. That having that moment of like a click in a boss fight's really fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like what's awesome. I really like what's the guy with the like the Father Mika or something like that. I don't remember.
Oh, like, Mikolash, the host of the Nightmare. Yeah, that one's a weird cool. Fight.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say, I actually think the bosses aren't even like the strongest part of that game. Like I think I look at Dark Souls and I think Dark Souls has like the more iconic, maybe even like more interesting bosses. But I think that where Bloodborne succeeds. Okay, maybe not. Do you disagree?
No. I was gonna say, yeah. I was gonna say like, yeah. Like I was going through my head like out loud and said, like an idiot. Because I was thinking.
Okay. Yeah. Just like looking back, I think like the bosses, not that they're bad here, but what propelled me through Bloodborne is just the world. Like I think that that's such a perfectly realized environment. Like what a place to be what a world they've crafted where like I can't get enough and I just want to like exist here and just read and learn and just find new places. Like I just love walking around there. Like Yarnum is such a perfectly realized city for this place, and I absolutely love it.
It's a great little open world game, and it's like tight enough to like where like nooks and crannies aren't hard to find, but when you find them, they're fantastic.
My
It's one of
favorite
my it's so great. It's fucking awesome. It's a fucking awesome game.
my favorite boss was Murga's wet nurse. I think that one was really fun.
It's a very fun boss fight. That was like a boss fight I beat in one try. So like I was like people told me that was like one of their hardest fights, and that was the weird one for people saying that was really hard. I like the fight though. It's fun.
Got it my second try, I think.
It's good. I like.
So
It's
good.
weird when people compare like deaths and stuff in this game. I always find it strange.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's just
I
like
think people like. I think it's like the realist dick measuring contest, trying to prove who's better at video games. I'm like, I don't like it in Dark Souls 1 because I think Dark Souls 1 is actually unfair and like has bad game design.
or Steven Smog, man.
Yeah, Ornstein Smog is a good fight. I think that fight's actually fun. I think there's like a lot of fights in that game that are like actively not good, or like game design that's actively like harmful to players and is not good. Dark Souls 3 takes it up a notch to being like, well, like Dark Souls 1's masochistic, Dark Souls 3 is sadistic, and I don't like it.
But I played Dark Souls 2, and I never cared about the world nearly as much as I did in Bloodborne. And that's just like
Yeah,
Bloodborne is just such like a masterpiece. Like I don't know how these people made this game, and I don't know how they're going to outdo it in my eyes.
I don't think they're ever going to try to outdo it too. They tried to. It's called Dark Souls 3. It didn't work. You should play Dark Souls 1. I think you'd actually really appreciate Dark Souls 1 now, way more.
I'm really
than
excited
you
to.
would.
Yeah, I think I will too.
But also, playing Dark Souls 1 and playing Dark Souls 2 is like that's how you have to play those games to me almost.
I want to play
Dark
Demon
Souls
Souls.
1 gives you such an appreciation for Dark Souls 2 in such a weird way. Because like that world's really fucked up and confusing and convoluted and doesn't make sense, and like that to me is the point of it. It might have been design mistakes, it might have been they didn't ran out of time or something, which is like rumors or ideas going around, or like supposedly that's what they said. But that game feels so cooler to me, as in like I go somewhere I don't know where I'm gonna end up.
Right.
And I really like that part of Dark Souls 2. It's like that actual part of like I'm going on an adventure, and this adventure is like I'm going through a fucked up world that doesn't make sense.
And like I don't think I want or need a Bloodborne 2.
No.
I really don't. I'm like super satisfied. Like I can close this, I can bookend it and be like, all right, I don't do this again.
Yeah,
In a really
don't
weird
want,
way.
Yeah, I don't ever want this guy to touch Bloodborne again. I'd rather him either A, do something different than Bloodborne or Dark Souls, or like do another Souls game, but like in a completely different setting, or just
Do what you did with Bloodborne, and
yeah. I don't even want to see another Souls game for a long time from them. Like I think let someone else pick up the mantle, let everyone else try to figure out how to make a Souls game. I could give less of a shit if he tried to make another one. Because I don't want another Souls game from him. I think Dark Souls 3 was like the last, like that straw is like done. I've pulled the last one's broken my back. I'm done with those games from him. I think they're all getting a little too samey. They're interesting, but like they all keep taking parts that I like in them and taking other parts away every single series. It just gets too much.
yeah. And I mean that's all I got on Bloodborne. Sorry to have it go so long, but
No, I mean
it's
a good game.
Blown away.
Yeah,
Games are great.
Been telling you.
Games are great. I didn't deny it. I was always like, oh, I know this game's gonna be good.
I don't think you accepted how good it was gonna be.
Sure.
So
I didn't think
good.
it'd be one of the best games I ever played.
Yeah.
I'm
Speaking
a
of
believer.
games I've been playing, thank you for being a believer in Bloodborne. Speaking of games I've been playing, I've gotten around to playing a little more Kingdom Hearts. I beat Monstro and the skeleton. I'm totally.
Oh,
just
you did the
forgot.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare for Christmas, and then I did the Pegasus Cup, and then I stopped playing.
Okay, so you went out of order. You went to the Nightmare Before
There's-
Christmas world before the other one.
There's no order, first of all.
Well, there's a little start difficulty indicator.
Okay, I didn't see the. Well, I might have like just not have seen it and just jumped to instantly
Yeah.
to the other one.
It's not
Just
a set
solve the
order.
other world.
You can do whatever you want.
But I did what is the Night Before Christmas world? God, I don't like. I barely remember that movie. I've seen it like once when I was like half asleep.
I love that movie. That's like my favorite world because I love that aesthetic. Oh,
I like the change in world. I do not like how dark it is because I had trouble seeing in the actual world. Like I had trouble. I had to like get close to my TV. I was like, "What the fuck?" In the little town, I was like really confused.
That's funny.
I thought the monsters were like a little more hard than they should have been. That was probably because I didn't see the other world and was like just tired. After Monstros, I think I was just tired and was like, "Fuck it, we're moving on." Thanks for the high jump, motherfuckers. I can actually play the game now.
Yeah, high jump's great.
Yeah, it makes the game actually fun. Weird how like giving the player good platform if you have a floaty platform controls, maybe give them a little more like time to decide like where they're gonna go is a good thing, and then making the platforms that are really hard to get give you that excellent control. Like that's what I wanted from the start. It should have just been there from the start,
It's a progression.
along with the roll.
No, I'll give you the roll, but I think the high jump has to be an unlockable power up.
I think it should be unlocked like quicker. Is all I'll say to that. Is like I think something like just like I didn't have enough time to be in the air. Sometimes it feels like, especially when like that game is so floaty. But I'm getting more into the combat. I wish the bosses were good, man. I really wish the bosses were good. I think the
better.
Yuna, the not Yuna, Yuffie and Leon fight was all right. That was an all right fight.
Yeah.
I was blocking shurikens and hitting Leon's sword back, and that was fun. But like, man, the Oogie Boogie fight sucks. Like,
you don't like climbing around the giant like tower that comes to life?
I almost think the giant tree part is better than the fucking gambler's den part.
I like the tree part. I think tree part's fun.
I think the tree part's like not good, as I'm like nothing was happening. So like I didn't feel like I was in danger the whole time.
You're not.
I was, like, climbing on a tree and just hitting back, and then like a fireball hit out, and I was like still hitting him, so I just shoot a fireball back into his black mist.
You're absolutely not in danger.
Yeah, and I was like, this sucks, and like, but like this is at least it's better than doing this dumb gambler thing where like I didn't understand it at first. I just got shot by the firing squad and was like, what is going on? And then it was like, oh, this, oh, okay, like after like a few tries, I was like, oh, it's just be underneath him, like, oh, this is stupid, and like moved on.
He's the Oogie Boogie man.
And the parasite cage is also like the Oogie Boogie tree where I just walked up to and just started hitting it a bunch. And then I just kept hitting it a bunch, and then like I didn't know what it is, and it would like it'd swing a thing at me, and I just hit the what's it called, the little vine attack, and be like tech point. And I just keep hitting him.
I actually think the parasite cage is a really fun fight, the final one, in the poison room where he's like knocking you in the poison.
Dude, I'll be straight up honest with you. I just walked right up to him and just stood there and just jumped up and hit him, and then just kept doing that, and he never knocked me in the poison.
He never knocked you in the poison?
I think he knocked me in the poison once. I hopped out, went Kier, and then just kept hitting him.
Oh, like, that's so weird. He's like spams that attack.
Oh yeah, he never like hit me. Like he didn't fuck me up once. I just destroyed him.
Wow. Okay.
And that's why like I was like I maybe saw the other world was like that's easier, and was like I'm just gonna go do the skeleton boys. I'm gonna do this level over here because I could use like I want to see the challenge, and then like. That level got risky. That level got hard because like they just throw so many fucking enemies at you for like a long time. Like you're in that pumpkin patch.
Oh, the pumpkin patch. Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit! And then it's like, good job, you got the Heartless Destroyer achievement. And I'm like, yeah, dog, I'm feeling it. Like my fingers are starting to hurt a little bit. I'm getting a little cramped here.
Those gargoyles and mummies don't fuck around.
No, they do not. Those get a little. That gets like a little rough. But the mummy one got really funny because I started figuring out all their moves. So like they jump in the air and I just like wait a second, and like block, and you come down. I just block his come down attack, and that was fun.
Yeah.
Like I think the combat's still pretty good. I think like the level design is still not good. I hate backtracking a lot. I'm starting to get real tired of like go into house, man yells at you, you leave house, go to different house, go back to main square, go back to that other square you were in. Also now go back to main square, now leave main square, go back to the area you were before, now jump in this place, now you're in the new area. Now we're getting to the fun part. And I'm like, okay, let's just move on. Like Monstro was almost refreshing because like I fell down, but I was like, that's my bad. I fell down. I think if you're in a fight, they should maybe put up an invisible wall on these blocks here because like holy shit, I just keep falling down and it kind of sucks, but I have to fight these enemies because like if not I'm just gonna keep getting pelted in the back.
Yeah, so Monstro is super like it can be very frustrating. That's a very polarizing world, I feel like.
But like it was frustrating for like a second because I fell down and was like, yeah, whatever, and like moved back and went back. But like I never felt like the maze was too bad to me. Like I like went through like one door and I was back at where I was pretty much.
Okay.
So like I felt like that map was almost my favorite one so far out of all of them because
Great.
The backtracking was like that was my mistake. It wasn't like I have to do this. You know what I mean? Like I have to go back to Aladdin's house for the third time today. And like that felt like almost refreshing in a weird way, like a cool glass of water. And I was like, oh, I could just keep playing, and it's just gonna keep like these areas look the same, but like so does all the whole game. But at least I'm not going back to the same area. And I was like, this feels great.
I can't wait for you to play the next world, which is probably going to be your least most hated world for a couple
Yeah,
reasons.
I see. I have to fuck up Captain Hook soon if I have to fight the. Like I'm trying to guess who's next. I'm like Captain Hook. I have to fight. And then like I assume I'm almost done by that point. If I did like worlds left, I have to fight Captain Hook. And I did the Little Mermaid one. I forgot I did the Little Mermaid.
You did the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I did the Little Mermaid.
Oh,
I did
okay.
After...
I thought that would be your most hated.
That one was like whatever. Like that's so
okay.
that was forgettable.
Right. Okay.
It was like I did that.
What?
I found out where to go really quickly. So like
how is that one forgettable? They like completely changed your movement set.
Because like it was really bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't say that's forgettable. That one like stands out as just being like, oh Jesus.
I just forgot I did it because like it was like I literally turned off the sound for that game when that happened because all I heard was da 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 da.
That song's so good.
No, I mean it's good, but it's not 4 chords good for an hour and a half. Like it's just not. Like all the music for that game is like this, like the cool note from the song you remember. For 2 hours, and you're like, this is garbage. Like
that's not
I hate
fair.
All these songs now.
That's super not fair.
For
that soundtrack's
the
so
world
good.
Music,
maybe
for the
okay.
World music for like everything else, like the actual set piece music and battle music is actually pretty interesting. I'm gonna cough 1 sec. I felt it.
Broadcast cough.
Yeah, I'll edit out in post. I'm not. But like, I actually like the battle music. I think the boss fight music's really fun sometimes. But like the world where you're just walking around and like hearing like the classic noises, but only like a few chords long, and you're like, I'm losing my fucking mind because you're backtracking. And like it actually feels like a case like you're actually dealing with an insanity you've never felt before in your life, and it feels very real. And I'm like, I'm actually losing my goddamn mind out here.
Interesting.
So that's interesting. And also I don't have an affinity for the classical Disney music because I've heard it so many times before now because Disney's so prevalent in society.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've heard the Little Mermaid music. I'd love them to do like their own twist on it maybe, or like something different with it. But like just hearing like da 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 da, and then just hearing that repeated forever, I'm like, I'm gonna put in a podcast. I'm gonna put on my own music. I'm gonna listen to Macross 8299. Like fuck this. This is something here's better.
You just made me think of something really funny. Do you want me to tell you a world from Kingdom Hearts 2?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, what's up?
There's a Pirates of the Caribbean world in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Is it just the fucking Pirates of the Caribbean? If it's the whole Pirates of the Caribbean theme song, I might be more okay with it. If it's just 4 chords.
Every time you get into a fight, the battle music is the ba-da-da-da.
Oh my god.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it just feels like you're like doing the same song over and over. And I was like, and you have to go through so many fights, and they make you go through so many fights. You're just kind of like, you're like the music will, the music will swell up. I'll beat the fucking monsters, and the music swells down. I move 1 step, and the music swells back up, and I'm like, all right, like, stop making me fight the jellyfish men, please, for the love of God.
Oh god.
Just fucking hit him at the end of their life bar with a spell, and they'll explode up. Thank God, because like Jesus.
Yeah. Glad you're using magic.
Yeah, I mean you have to. Like, I mean you gotta use all of the tools at your disposal.
Exactly.
It just seems like sometimes like there's a lot of backtracking in that level. There's a lot of. I'm getting numb to backtracking at this point. You know what I mean?
You're past the backtracking though. You have come over the hump.
I'm totally terrified of what the Peter Pan level is. Like, you have no idea how scared I am for Captain Hook's level. Because I'm like, what if we're just on the fucking boat? What if we're on a fucking boat and it's backtracking all through a boat? And I'm like terrified now of like, what does a boat level look like? And I'm scared.
All right. I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah, don't tell me. Don't. Yeah, I'm playing through it. I'll be playing through it soon.
It's not my favorite level.
All right, cool. All right, like.
But I don't think that one has backtracking really.
Okay.
It's like very straightforward. It's just like, oh, we're on a boat.
Yeah, and the worst thing is I haven't felt like any of the levels felt cool or unique or like original in any way. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's super crazy.
It's really hard to find like. 1 second, I'm gonna drink some water. Because you tell me why it's crazy. I'm gonna drink water.
I look at all those worlds and they just absolutely nail their aesthetic. Like you look at that Nightmare Before Christmas level, and that's just so distinctive and stylized. Like the literal like fidelity of the characters changes. Like they're in these Halloween costumes. Like Donald Duck is this weird mummy man, and he's got this hole in his chest.
I never said I don't like the aesthetics of them. It's the level design specifically what I'm talking. Like not those don't they aren't grabbing me in any way. Like it feels like I go here and it feels like I do the same thing every time. So there's like one little like twist on the idea, but like every level feels really boring. Like they look nice, but nothing is like cool there for me to like play with. You know what I mean? Like, like I go here, I see, and it's like, hey, we need a heart. Go find Frankenstein's daughter. I don't remember her name. Whatever. Sally. Look, man, Night Before Christmas is not a film that I've watched once and didn't like and continue on. But I don't like Tim Burton that much, anyways. I think a lot of reasons I don't like him, but I don't like him that much.
You ever play Oogie Boogie's Revenge?
I've heard that's actually okay.
It's
like
pretty
the
fun.
Weird thing.
It's like a weirdly good game.
But I go into the graveyard. I fight the Heartless again. And then like Sally pops out and is like, "Here is these flowers," and I go back to that guy, and I go back through the same environment again. I'm like, okay, well, it looks nice, but like, go find that door again, and then go up here, and here's the flowers, sir. He's like, oh, you gotta find the mirror, get the jackal in the box. All right, let me go down here and go. Okay, now I'm in this. Okay, now I need to go inside the. Oh, because the little twins popped out. I go in the grave, pop out. And all right, you got these ghosts pop out in a weird order, and it's like 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, okay, ... 3. And okay, here's my jack. All right, now go back to that guy, and I go all the way back to that guy, and he's like, oh shit, the thing got stolen, and then the level starts all of a sudden, and you're like, okay, now I'm actually in like the unique areas where it's fun, but like before that, it's just like, all right, I'm just walking. I'm not even jumping anymore. I'm just walking at this point. And like there's nothing fun happening there except for fighting the enemies, and even that can get old because you're fighting the enemies in the same area again. And the fighting's fun, but it's not good enough for me to go through the same area for a third time to fight them. Like it's not that good, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then you get to the jack-o'-lantern part, and I'm like, oh, this is like a big level. I'm seeing things. And I'm get to Oogie Boogie's house, and I'm jumping around on things. And like that's more fun. But like before that, it's like I'm just going back and forth, and I'm holding this crab leg.
Oh, you have the crab claw.
So I did Boomerang before I went to Skeleton Place.
You went in the right order then.
I went in the right order. And I had this crab claw, and I was like, I'll beat the shit out of this fucking Heartless and blitz him. And I'm going. And then it's just like, man, but like I'm fighting this. And like then also you're fighting some of the same enemies again. And that's not fun for me either. Is like, I'm fighting the little Heartless dudes, but now they gave me 6 P points instead of 1 P point, and they just don't do anything different. I just smack the shit out of them harder, and they just fly back farther, and then go like, I can still fight, sir, and they run back at me. And I'm like, that's not interesting to me. Like the only cool parts of that fight were like fighting the mummy dudes and the gargoyles. I haven't fought them before, but like I know if I move on to the next world, I'm gonna fight gargoyle dudes and maybe mummy people, maybe not.
Nope.
Because like only some are for level. Like so, I fight the monkeys in that place, but I never see the monkeys again. But I keep seeing these fucking little Heartless dudes run around, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
The shadows.
I keep finding the big bulbous boys, and I'm like, man, these guys suck. It feels like this game still totally feels like they like have the ideas there, but they didn't have like the game there. You know what I mean? Like they have like they're like, all right, we have this cool combat system. We have like the characters that we want. We have the graphic style we want, but like the level design isn't there for them yet. You know what I mean? And like seeing what I know of Kingdom Hearts 2, which is like trailers and stuff, when I remember seeing it, is like I feel like it's there in another game. Like they figured it out somewhere else, just didn't figure it out here yet. Like no one was on. Like they hired a level design at the last minute, and he came and was like, "Oh fuck, put the levels together like squares," and I don't know, fuck it, get him out of here. Because like it has not, none of the levels have gripped me yet.
I love hearing you say this. This is super interesting for me.
And I fucking hate the backtracking so much.
I think you go a little overboard on the backtracking, but I hear you on some of the level design stuff, definitely.
Yeah. But I don't think I'm crazy for backtracking, because like in Nightmare Before Christmas, it was literally fine. I went in the exact path it wanted me to. I figured it out the first time. It was, go to guy with the brains house, and he's like, all right, I'm trying to make Heartless dance. And you have to fight the monsters in the square. You don't fight monsters in the square, I think, the first time. Then you leave, then you fight monsters in the square with Jack Skellington. And then you go find Sally, which I found right away. Okay, here's Sally. All right, here you go. Fight the monsters there. Come back. Fight monsters in the square again because they spawn again. Maybe I shouldn't fight all the monsters all the time.
Just run past. Like that takes 2 seconds, man.
To run past them?
Yeah.
But then you miss out on XP and money, and I need the money.
I mean, sure, yes, but like that's up to you then.
Yeah, but at that point, I'm like, oh, I need experience points to level up, so I need leveling up so I can keep playing the game because like there's still some challenge, some areas. I haven't found too challenging. I should dodge more enemies, but like I need to do the Pegasus Cup, so I might get something cool out of that, like a new Keyblade, which would be better than my Keyblade I have now. So I'm gonna be leveled up for that. So I'm gonna fight them. Who knows? This boss could be really difficult. I don't want to be stuck on him for a long time. So I'm gonna fight these money. I need this money from better gummy ships. So I want to make a gummy ship, but they keep telling me I don't have enough parts for them, and I'm like very confused by that.
Don't fall down the hole of the gummy ship unless you really want to make a gummy ship.
How do you get any of the parts for the gummy ships? Like I keep getting all these gummy ship parts. They keep telling me I never have enough gummy ship parts.
Well, when you kill enemies, they're dropping parts in the gummy missions.
Yeah.
As well, okay, the easiest thing to do is if you get all 99 Dalmatians, you'll get like a super gummy set, and that's like basically every gummy piece.
Oh, okay.
And that's when I would actually like start making a gummy ship.
It was weird because I made my gummy ship and just like I made it like a toilet or trash can almost. I just made it like a circle trash can and then put guns all over it. Was like haha, and then like ran around with that. And that's been very funny.
Yeah.
But the what's it called? Like it's like, hey, here you have the Cactar ship. I'm like, I want to use that. That's stupid.
Oh yeah, no, you can't use those.
What do you mean? How come?
Because they don't have like a cockpit or engines or anything. Like you'd have to actually manually add stuff to those to use them.
This is the dumbest.
So you have to edit the design. Yes. That's
but
just Nomura's like, hey guys, remember Chocobos? Here's a Chocobo ship.
How can you put a Cactar in a game and then be like, also don't play it, you idiot?
You
like,
can't just
monster.
put a fucking engine on it.
And a cockpit apparently too.
I don't know. I'm just saying out of my ass. I don't actually know what it needs specifically, but probably both.
Yeah.
Probably guns too.
Yeah, like it'd be really funny if like you built the Cactar and it shot out like needles. I'm like, I don't know, like have some fun with your dumb. This gummy chip sucks. All right, let's all be honest here too. Like those levels are bad and boring, and like they're not bad, I guess, but they're just really boring, which makes them bad to me.
Sure.
But
it's nice to have that gummy jump though. Gummy jump.
I still love that I realize that it says normal drive and warp drive, so like I'm just imagining everyone yelling engage the normal drive and like hitting a button. That makes me laugh every single time now. Engage the normal drive. They just fly off normally. It's really stupid. But I'm still gonna keep playing it. I think I'm getting close probably to the ending of the game. I assume.
You are close.
I don't think the world can get like extend itself into another fucking third sphere, but who knows? And I'll keep doing the Colosseums. I hopefully get a cool Keyblade out of it or something. Or the yellow. I know I'm gonna get the Yellow Trinity out of it. I assume.
You got the pumpkin head.
I had the pumpkin head. That's my weapon of choice now.
Love the pumpkin head. Great weapon.
Yeah, it was crab and it was pumpkin head. And I lost one of my MP bars.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
But I'm not a magic man, so it don't matter. I've started to figure out the white truffles too, which has been a little tough. We're figuring them out.
Mm-hmm.
I looked them up online to figure out what it was. I fought the big one. And you just like hit a bunch.
Yeah, that one you don't fuck with till endgame.
Well, I mean, you can still fuck with him. You still get tech points out of it. You just punch him a bunch, and he's like, "Here's 20 tech points," and I'm like, "Oh, sick. See you later, nerd."
Sure.
But like, I fought him twice because he respawned like 2 times on me. So
yeah, he'll spawn in Atlantica, and then he'll spawn at the top of the tree in Tarzan too. That's where you actually fuck with him.
Gotcha. Cast some spell on him that makes you hit him a bunch, and then you get a cool item or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's for
He gave me a potion, and I was like, "Fuck you," and then I left.
Yeah, there's all super heartless in each of the world that are important synthesis material. You have to do like a weird gimmick with all of them.
Interesting. Well, I'll probably never do that.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. It's maddening.
I'll if I get really into Kingdom Hearts 2, maybe I'll get into it. But let's just focus on Kingdom Hearts 1, right?
I can't wait to hear your thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 2 because you're gonna be so happy about some parts, and then you're just gonna be so mad about certain other specific things, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, well, first we gotta do Chain of Memories, which I'm not looking forward to.
It's a great podcasting game, honestly.
Yeah, it's what it's gonna be. What else have you been playing?
So I finished Bloodborne, and I'm like, man, I need to like decompress because it was literally yesterday I had off of work, and I'm like, this is the day. And then I got to Amygdala, I'm like, maybe this isn't the day.
But I saw you playing that yesterday while I was playing Killing Floor 2. I saw you doing that.
Yeah. But it was the day, and I finished, and it was like 8 o'clock at night, maybe, I don't know, and I'm like, man, I mean, do I want to start that Kingdom Hearts 1 run because I want to get that wallpaper you get for beating the game for my PS4?
Jesus.
I really want that wallpaper. And I started up for like an hour. I was like, you know what? No, now's not the time. I don't need an action RPG after just playing Bloodborne for 40 hours, 50 hours.
Yeah.
I wanted something new. I wanted to see something fresh. I want to get lost in a new place. So what I did is I put in Yakuza 0.
Oh fuck, here it is. This getting
Because
lost in a whole new world.
how do you pivot off of Bloodborne with anything other than another 10? You know what I mean? How do you match a 10 if you don't follow it up with another 10? Yakuza 0 is a 10.
It's so good, dude.
I I didn't play much. I played maybe an hour, but I absolutely
play the combat.
love
You
it.
got the combat then. You've played the
Yes.
combat.
Yes,
How do you feel the combat?
I got as far as rush style, and then I saved. He taught me rush
Okay.
style.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
The combat's fine enough. It's fine.
It's super like
It's
fun,
fine.
but nothing amazing.
It's fine. You just mash square.
Yeah, you mash square, throw in some triangles, and then press the triangle when it appears over the screen, and you beat someone's face in.
Yeah, the camera's like super weird, but like it's serviceable. Like whatever.
Yeah.
I can see it getting really annoying with just a long ass health bar, but
A lot of the one-on-one fights get a lot easier than that you think they will be, and this game doesn't encourage you to be like, don't be afraid to like spend some of that money on like potions, pretty much, and use them because like the game will like fuck you up really quickly without you expecting it, like without you like knowing what's gonna happen. Like I almost always have like a couple like these restores health and heat, like just have those ready because like the game will fuck you up.
I'm like learning how to invest money in myself and
Yeah. Put the money in you to gain better abilities, and the money flies out at the screen.
just this game is hitting all the right notes for me, and just even that first hour, like it's the most tonally weird game.
Yeah,
You'll be having this crazy like melodramatic speech with your friend, and then he's like, "All right, let's hit that karaoke."
Yeah,
and
and
then-
you fucking do a sick karaoke number with your friend.
It's so good. Like I'm doing that karaoke, and I have this great like I couldn't stop smiling the whole time.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
my
karaoke, one of the best moments of the year, to me, hands down. It's so good.
Honestly, we're breaking the law, and it was fantastic. It's fantastic. And then you follow that up with this like intense Yakuza scene where you're talking to the lieutenants, and like you're in this super like mafia movie, and then it just goes back to being really goofy with this American dude teaching you rush style. I love it. Love it.
It's really amazing. It's a truly, like, one-of-a-kind kind of game, almost.
I don't know how they managed to balance all this different tone stuff, but they
Because they've been doing it for years, is how. They've been making Yakuzas forever.
And it transitions so well, like I don't even blink at it, honestly. I'm able to shift between serious and silly, like, no problem.
Yeah, the game somehow balances like a tone shift of weird and crazy with like. So I think it's so much like it knows it's a video game almost, like it's aware of video games in its own way. Like it embraces that it's a video game, so you can you okay with these weird tonal shifts happening.
But now I'm worried I've put myself into another. I'm gonna be stuck here for a while, aren't I?
Yeah, Yakuza Zero's gonna take a lot. I haven't even touched it since I last played. I played a fair bit of it, and I'm realizing like I might just try to beat that game and not do all the side stuff in that game. You know what I mean? Like there's so much side stuff to do.
Yeah, and I thought no one could do the side stuff because there's just too much of it.
That I'm like, yeah, I was like locking myself into doing. I was doing a lot of it, and all of it's so good. Is like the worst part. Like
that's what I've heard.
So funny and weird, but like I'm just gonna like embrace taking it slow. You know.
I've heard about like the sushi chef is this like super just amazing side quest, just catching fish for this man.
I got someone out of a cult. I helped a man who had his face taken off during surgery and got a different face on, reconnect with his family.
Oh my god.
Like an actual face-off happened with this guy. Like there's so much shit that happens, and you haven't even gotten to the second character yet.
No,
so,
I
like,
haven't even got the eye patch man.
And he's
like the best
Goro
character.
Is so good.
Yeah.
Kiru's also so good. Like they're both so good.
Kiru's this like deadpan, serious, like brute. Oh, he's so good.
Yeah. Honor, respect, tradition in this man.
Yeah.
You should do disco. You should go to the disco club though. Like for real, some of my favorite music in that game, disco club. Just go to the disco club and do a dance.
Well, the music's already super good. Like I just watched the opening sequence, and like that song was hyping me up like a lot.
I don't think you'll appreciate how much I appreciate how good the disco music is in that game. But to spoil a little bit of the disco music for you, there's a literal Michael Jackson like impersonator in there.
That's good. That's good.
It's like you don't hear it at first when you do the song, and then it breaks down to a literal Michael Jackson ripoff song.
Which one?
I think it might be Thriller. I think it's what's the song?
Thriller would be the one to do.
No. There's a better one to do. It's a better like tempo beat for what disco dancing is, and it's not Thriller. It's
Is it Beat
what's
It?
the song where it's like no, it's like I'm blank. I can't remember what the song is. And that's the name of the song. All I can remember is the Weird Al Yankovic joke of it, where it's like I'm fat.
Smooth Criminal?
I don't remember, man. It's a good song. I can't remember. Okay, right. I like Michael Jackson too. That's the worst part.
Apparently not.
Apparently I'm just a fake fan. But that game's fantastic. The music is also top notch.
But yeah, I was thinking of doing Valkyria Chronicles, but I was just super like, I do not want to be frustrated in a video game right now. I just want to have a good time, and I'm scared Valkyria Chronicles is just gonna make me mad.
It definitely could. It's a tactical RPG ass game.
Yeah, but that's all I got. Just a lot of Bloodborne and a tip of the Yakuza.
Gosh, so I've been playing. I guess I have a fairer number than you on games I've been playing, but I've been playing more Killing Floor 2. But I don't want to talk too much about it, but I got frustrated for the first time in Killing Floor 2. They added a new mode called Versus Survival, and my friends like getting trophies, so I was going to help them get the Versus Human Win trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to win once as the Zed and once as the humans. We played for about 3 hours last night, and we never won as humans and won every time as Zed because it is so fucking hard to win as a human in that round. Because in that game, if a player controls a Zed, they get more health and then they can move really quickly. Where like Zed moves slowly and are stupid usually.
Oh.
And it becomes a really fucking hard game, like where we've gone to the boss multiple times, but a player controls it just fucking destroys you.
So it's this weird kind of like 4-on-4 or something, where like the 4 people are playing as zombies and
it's
you're
like
still playing as survivors. Okay, got it.
And it's rough as hell. Like I could see only like someone winning as humans against like a really good. Like you'd have to be really good humans and a really fucking terrible boss, or like that's it. And that's the only way I can see someone winning. You know, like it has to be like
those bosses are strong, man.
And yeah, and you play as like the boss with everything to it. Like so, it usually just seems you play as the Patriarch, which is like a boss who can turn invisible, shoot a minigun, rocket, charge, grab you, and heal 3 times, like to almost full every time.
My God.
And then it's like 6 players, and the boss, if he hits you, you're fucked up.
Yeah, I thought that game was already like frustrating, like original Killing Floor. I remember getting very mad at.
And like I don't get mad when we lose a round normally because I have a good time, and I feel like it's my fault almost. Where like now I'm feeling the imbalance.
You're feeling the heat.
And like we got close one time, and I literally will blame this one dude for what happened. He died last round. Fine, I got my guns, gave my dude all my money, just gave him all of it. It was like, you fucking get what you need. Boss time, let's go. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on the buy screen, and he didn't buy his best gun and armor, and he died early, and I think it cost us the round pretty much. And I was like, that was the win. That was the round. It was like the guy we were playing against wasn't that good. I got in his face with an AA-12 and was just like destroying him. And like he couldn't do anything. He couldn't get to me. He was like defocused on me. So I was like chipping away at him. My team was doing really good. He like got to his like he was on his last heal and we died pretty much. He was like last heal, 1/4 health left, and we died. And I died really early because I'm a support and I'll always die really quick because I have a shotgun. So I'm just getting in there.
Yep.
And like I had run through all my ammo too at that point. Like I had done all AA-12 damage. I was like only with like my hunting shotgun left. So I didn't have enough for like the other shotgun. But I was like, it's fine. The hunting shotguns were strong. And that dude just didn't have armor and got like knocked into a corner and just got destroyed. And like I was like, if you had just lived.
Sad.
I was so sad, dude.
You're broken. Yeah. Your games break people. Yeah.
And that was like an hour in. So 2 hours later, like we just never got that close again. And then like it keeps auto balancing, so I keep getting pulled off my team of friends. So it was just
Oh, gross.
Yeah, so it was rough. It was a rough night. I do the thing where I think I'm on Discord a lot when I talk. I don't like talking. I'm using the PlayStation Party chat to talk, so I'm just using my headphone microphone, which is like my like $20 microphone in my headphones.
Yeah.
I don't even think about it, and I get mad. I just turn off my PS4. I was like going to bed. And then I text my friends like, "Sorry, I didn't force a habit. I'm just going to bed."
Sleep on it, man. You come back, be stronger than ever.
Yeah, or like I think we'll just keep playing normal round and just keep leveling up our best classes, and then go in with like really heavy good classes. And like that might be the real actual winning goal.
Just grind a little more.
Yeah, I mean we to get all the trophies. They want to get all the trophies. You have to win a versus on suicidal and you have to win a suicidal mode, not versus. You have to win suicidal and Hell on Earth.
Jesus
and
Christ.
We've gotten close on short suicidal, and Hell on Earth is so difficult. I don't think they're prepared for like how difficult that'll be.
Yeah, like platinum in that game is madness to me.
Yeah, I think it would actually be pretty easy to do a Hell on Earth short. Like, is the thing like I just think like people just need to start like realizing like what they need to focus better. Like I need to like sit down with my friends and talk. Like I've beaten Hell on Earth on original Killing Floor. Like I used to play a lot of Killing Floor. So I just need to like sit down with my friends and be like, hey, if you're doing this, like for you need to focus on the trash mobs. I'll focus big guys, and you like play support for us all. Like I need like if I'm support, I can take on a scrape by my on like even on hard and on suicidal. I think I can maybe do it. I'm not positive anymore, but like on hard, I can solo a scrape by myself as support every time. Because if I have a hunting shotgun, it stuns them if you just do a double tap. Easy, game's over for scrape. So I can focus big guys. You need to do this. And it becomes like an actual game of skill at that point. Like
you need actual coordination. You can't just be independently running around like usual.
With your chicken, like a chicken with the head cut off. So like if you're doing suicidal, and it's such because you have to bring other people in. Someone will come in with like a level 4 sharpshooter on suicidal, and I'm like I guess you need XP, man, but like that ain't gonna fly for like 2 rounds, and you're just gonna die because like you don't even have a perk unlocked. It just gets fucked.
Gotta squad up, full squad. That's the secret.
Yeah, man. You got online? Want to play Killing Floor 2?
No, I had to use my free PS Plus 2-day pass so I could upload my cloud saves. That was fun. For Bloodborne, I was like, this is worth using.
Yeah. Killing Floor 2 is so much fun. I really enjoy that game.
Yeah, I'm glad.
But I've also been playing a lot of Breath of the Wild.
What?
Yeah, so I got it for the Switch, like I said. So
shit.
I got a while ago for my Switch. I've been playing like on and off, but not a lot to even talk about it. But this week, I find myself upstairs a lot, waiting, helping like move furniture in, or waiting for furniture people to come in while parents are gone shopping for like groceries and dog food. So I have to wait for them to come to help move stuff in. So I have to be upstairs a lot. And all my game stuff is downstairs, except for my Switch, which I just hooked up upstairs because I was like, fuck it, why not, right? I've been playing more and more Breath of the Wild, and I'm coming to like that game more and more. And not for the reasons I appreciate it for what it was. I don't think I appreciated how much I liked the environment in that game and the world. But I've come away feeling the same about everything else I feel bad about that game was bad at. Like the combat is broken.
Brokenly easy?
No, it's broken that like some things don't work correctly.
Like, is it unbalanced? Is it just features
I'll explain
don't
it
work?
One feature doesn't work correctly. It's called if you dodge, you can dodge the game. So you can do like backflip side dodges in fights. It's very like you commit to your attack and then you can dodge. You can't like auto cancel out of your you can't like cancel out of an attack, which is perfectly fine.
Okay.
And so, but the thing is, if you do a dodge at what they say is the right time, you get a flurry rush where like the game slows down. So it's like, hey, hammer the attack button, and you'll hit an enemy really quickly with any of your weapons out and do a ton of damage.
It's like which time?
Yeah, it doesn't work. It works weirdly. Where like I have not been in an enemy's way and just dodged to like test this. I've done testing for it because I'm crazy, and I'm fighting an enemy, and it'll attack me, and the attack will finish, and then I'll dodge and I'll still get it. I've not been in the way of an enemy's attack and dodged and have gotten it.
Have you looked this up online and like?
So then I looked it up online, and it doesn't work. I've seen some dude doing tests being like, it's kind of broken. Wow. And so like I've done perfect dodges. Like I've backflipped over an enemy's attack, and I've seen the blade go under my back because I'm in the air dodging. Didn't get a flurry rush. But I've also been in one where an enemy stabbed a spear and I'm already away from it and just did a side dodge while his attack was activating, and I got the flurry rush. I've done it when like an enemy starts his attack, like before he even does the attack part, and dodged and have gotten it. Like, it feels like you can almost abuse it. Like it's almost breakable, and I've like started like trying to figure out how to break that flurry rush to get it to work for me.
Yeah, because that sounds like it'd be very frustrating. I get just mad because when you get the good dodge, it doesn't work. Like that. That's annoying.
So it's really weird. Like for like someone, I almost think it's like plausible. So like the big hard enemy is called a Lionel. They're like big centaur linemen.
I know those guys.
And so like one time I've jumped, like he did a swing underneath me and I dodged it once. I hit my microphone, so I was doing literal hand motions to describe this while trying to do like just describing it. And I've jumped over his axe and I've landed and I jumped right afterwards because I knew he was gonna do another attack, and that's when I got the flurry rush. Like it was the same perfect dodge, but the second time I got it. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but I specifically know I've gotten it when like enemies have just started the attack, like they're winding up, and then they're gonna hit me. Like before they even got to the hit, I've done the flurry rush. I've done it when they finish their attack, then dodge, then I've gotten the flurry rush a few times. Like it doesn't seem to work consistently or well.
Weird.
And that is frustrating because I think the combat could be way better in that game. But yeah, I don't think it works perfectly. Then again, like this is Nintendo really trying to their first time trying to do an actual combat game that's good and trying to actually give you cool combat variability. I also think that one weapon set in that game is worse than every other weapon set in the game.
That's the spear?
The big swords.
Oh, the big sword.
Big sword is terrible compared to every other weapon, I think. If you can almost get, and I carry a bunch of big swords around with me because like you just get weapons and they have high damage. It's okay to have high damage big weapons sometimes, but like sword and shield's the best, obviously, because you can block. You just hold L2 and you're holding a shield out, and if it gets hit, you just block it. It just blocks damage for you. It's great.
Just entirely?
Yeah, well, sometimes like depends on how shield like armor you have. Like shields vary in scale of how good they are.
Okay.
But like most, like a Lino couldn't get through like my 16 armor shield.
That's a lot then. Okay.
But then you can also parry with it. So if you see an enemy come, I can block it. It wasn't a lot. It's also like there's like I have like a 40 level shield. Maybe I was like again lucky. Maybe I was like doing the right things, but like it'll break quicker though, I think, from like those hits. But like you can block a lot of damage from those. But you can also parry, so you can press A to parry an attack. And so your shield will come up and it'll bash that enemy, and you can do a quick combo onto them. It won't give you flurry rush, but it gives you a lot of time. And so you have like this good defense. The spear gives you range, so you can be very far away and poking dudes before they can get up and attack you, especially if they have shields and swords.
Okay.
The big weapon has lower speed than your regular sword attacks. Usually does a little more damage, not a lot for me lately, but like a little more damage. And it's very slow, and you have none of the armor, the defense capabilities. It's just you have to dodge. It just feels. I've had almost every time I've used one has only been good against very low level trash mods. I can like just swing into them, but I can also do that with my sword just as easy. It feels like
it's just not worth what you're giving.
It's just not worth it. I think it's good to. I think you're gonna have to use them no matter what. But like anytime when I'm like, oh, I have to deal with ranged attacks, I'm gonna switch to my shield. It's like I don't want to waste my arrows on this guy. I'm just gonna shield and run at him. This enemy's coming at me with really far away with like a sword and shield. I'm gonna use my spear. Unlike the one time I felt like it's really good to have a big weapon is against really big enemies, but then also at the same time, I've just felt like dodging them and then getting with a flurry rush is the better move too.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need them because your weapons blow up in like a few seconds after use, so it's good to get in there with like grab all your shit. But like the only thing I feel good is for a what's it called? A big weapon is to like once you get like some special abilities to use that spin attack, and that's about all I can see with it.
Okay.
It doesn't feel as good. I think it's still fine, but like it's just the sword and shield is so stupidly good in that game that like it's like why would you use anything else almost?
So if that's something that you're not hot on still, what's something that has kind of turned around for you at this second playthrough?
That fucking open world is so good. It is
how so?
It's just like it feels alive in the ways you want a game to feel alive in. Like when you go somewhere, it feels like there's always something there. When you're moving around, it feels like there's always something to find and collect that will come in handy for you. Like it's an open world game where like it encourages me to be like, I'm not gonna fast travel, I'm just gonna walk there. Because like I haven't gone this walking path yet, and I'm taking pictures of all the animals now, so you can get them in your compendium, like which is kind of fun for me. I've realized like you can take pictures of weapons and enemies and animals and mushrooms and whatever, and it adds to your compendium so you can find them later if you need them. So I'm walking around collecting the crickets and stuff, and I'm like walking around having a good time, seeing like the weird NPCs, and they have like really funny and weird dialogue that's like interesting, and you find they give you weird tidbits of like, hey, if you go over here, this guy will teach you about there's a master shield surfer who retired when they were young, and they live up in this mountain. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to that mountain later, not now. I'm gonna go do this, but I'll go there later. I'll put a marker there, and boom, all right, I'll go there later. And like stuff like that's so cool. Like that game feels alive and real in ways that like open world games I've been playing don't feel that way almost.
Does it feel full? Like there's stuff to do in every single
there's
corner.
Korok seeds are everywhere. Is like that.
Yeah.
I think the main draw. Like, and I don't think the Korok seeds are amazing, but I think they're so quick and easy to do that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I almost feel like the Korok seeds are going to be the moon puzzles from Mario in a way.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a ton of moons.
Yeah, like, and I feel like it's like you go here, you're like, okay, there's a rock here, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna stasis this rock and hit it with my hammer, and the hammer goes off. There's a rock. There's like a little pebble rock. You lift it up and like, hey, it's like, how you found me, my friend? Here's a Korok seed, and like disappears. And there's so many shrines. It's like, there's 80 shrines. So like you can move for a bit, you'll find a shrine everywhere. And you go up to a high mountain, you can scan everywhere and go ping them, and like glide down and be like, I'm going for that shrine. Shrines are still not that great. I think they're really boring mini puzzles that aren't. Some of them are fun, some of them are just bad, some of them are like whatever, you don't care. Some of them are tests of strength, which are just not that great. It's just doing the combat stuff against harder enemies or really dumb, weak enemies. They don't scale to you. So like the shrines aren't that great. There's some that are fun. I could hear a bird behind you, I think.
Oh wow, that's really loud. I don't know what to do about the bird. I
just like heard it. It's good. It's good ambient noise. But yeah, like it's
okay.
I really love that world. It's going to be on my Game of the Year list. I know that for a fact. I don't think it'll be number one. I might be near my top. It's like that world is still spectacular. The game looks amazing. And with it running better on a Switch, I really appreciate some of the stuff a little more. Like if I'm in a village, the game doesn't drag to 10 frames per second. It stays at the locked frame it's going to be. And like that's kind of amazing. It's like that's helping me like the game way more.
Wow. I remember you were so adamant before. You're like, no, the Wii U version runs better, dog.
I thought like I've heard it run better in some areas. There's still some weird fucking frame issues in that game. Like if I hit a Mogoblin in like certain areas, the game will just stop, and then it will start. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Like that shit still happens, but like I've had this moment where I'm like, I'm gonna just explore a little more instead of doing the dungeon stuff. I'm instead of trying to experience that story content on my own, I'm gonna really let myself explore this time and like really let myself go of like wanting to do. Like I'm gonna head that way. But I'm gonna like walk and then go to the right and look around and be like, oh, what's over here? You know, like that kind of shit.
You're gonna lose yourself.
Like, yeah, and then like I found myself on top of a mountain fighting a fucking dragon, which was like the fight wasn't that great, but it was really cool to like top of a mountain, be like, hey, good job, you found it up here. There's a fucking dragon you need to cure up here, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then that dragon's also just kind of flying around now around that mountain that I can see at all times. And like that feels really cool to see that dragon there. And like that stuff still feels great, but like some other stuff just still doesn't feel like hot, and like that combat still doesn't feel great. It's fun. I think the combat works well. I think the shooting the arrows is really fun in that game. I think like having all those weapon choices are really cool. I just think like it could be like I don't feel like it's bad. It just needs to be improved. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the next Breath of the Wild game is the good one almost in my head. Where like this is the base here of like this environment stuff is so good. Now just put the Zelda in it. You know what I mean?
Well,
like this open world's so cool. Put the dungeons back in. You know?
Yeah, I obviously can't know because I haven't played the game, but I've heard the dungeons are let down, especially the bosses, which is a big letdown from me. But
all the bosses are bad.
What I want to ask is where do they go from here? Like, what does the next Zelda look like? Is it another iteration on this formula, or does Nintendo do something wildly different like always?
I think that they've set themselves up. They got such good praise for this game. They're going to go the same way again. You know, like I totally think they're going to do the same game again.
Interesting.
But I think what needs to become I legitimately think if they do shrines again, it's a mistake. I think they should really do like quests, maybe emphasize better quests to get cooler stuff, so people have a really different playstyle. Different things happen for them. It's like, oh, I did a bunch of quests with these stamina vessels or heart containers, or someone else is like, oh, I didn't do these side quests. I got a lot of heart containers, not stamina vessels, or like stuff like that, or like giving armor out for quests more instead of just finding them. I think would be way better. I think dungeons being good again and just giving you like weird, like off the like you go to like, oh, I found this cave, and in this cave was just a fucking dungeon. Like that's what I want from that game. I want them to give me that same open world. They could shrink it a little bit. I wouldn't care if they did that. And like, even though it still feels alive all over, there's so much stuff to do everywhere, and I think it's really fun to explore in that game. Like letting you climb anywhere is such a cool thing. But like,
Yeah, totally.
and you find all this stuff, and like that's all great. But like, you go to a dungeon in these games, and it feels like a chore at that point. And like that's the letdown. Like the journey there is really great, but the destination sucks.
Okay.
And I think this game's awesome, and I want to see them do this again, but like, and then get that destination to be just as awesome as the journey. You know, like hit that right note, or like have that journey, or like get rid of all of it then, or like get rid of all dungeons, strip the fucking story down to nothing, and like let the dungeons just be there. But like you can fight Ganon right from the start, and you don't even know there's a dungeon in the game. You know, like they don't even tell you where the Master Sword is. Like I want it to be almost even more bare bones then. Like those are the two ways I want it to go.
And then when you go to fight Ganon after having done all 8 dungeons with the Master Sword, you fight a different phase, you get a true ending, blah, blah, blah.
You get something, where it's like fighting Ganon at the end of the game while doing everything is a joke.
Is it really?
Oh, it's a fucking... I beat that game. I beat the last boss in a second.
I know you can do it right away, and everyone says it's terrible, and that's just super disappointing for me.
Yeah, because like if you can... Yeah, it ruins, I almost think, the fight, but then if you don't do it, the fight's dumb. Like it's so strange.
Yeah.
All the bosses suck, and the very final last phase of Ganon fight is like actually the worst fight of one of the worst bosses of all time.
Wow.
To me, because it's such a letdown of what it could be, and it's so bad that you're like, did you guys just run out of time? It's like, I think you guys just ran out of time.
This game was in production for like 6 years, right? Was the last Zelda 2011 Skyward Sword?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 6 years. My god. You think they'll take 6 years to make Breath of the Wild 2?
I'd be fine with that. That game feels so great that I'd love them to take their time with another one, you know? Like...
But do you think they will?
I hope so. I don't know if they will. I just don't know. You know, I don't know Zelda well enough to know what they'll do with it.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing their DLC, so maybe that's like... They're like, hey, we're working on production for another one. This rest of this team can work on this little DLC stuff. But we're going to start production on a fucking new Zelda game. And I legit hope it's a step forward in the Breath of the Wild directions. I think that direction is so good for Zelda. I think it fits Zelda's... that is of what Zelda wanted to be when it started, you know, of like this open world, monsters are everywhere, and these secrets feel really secrety, and these, but like it missed the dungeon part of it, but it got the open world part. I'm like, I want them to nail both of them next time, and that would be one of my favorite games of all time.
It's really cool for it to come so full circle after thinking like they've realized it in 3D with Ocarina of Time to be like, no, now we've realized what the NES Zelda was, you know?
Yeah, and if they can hit the dungeon next time, I think that would be one of the best games ever made. Like, straight up.
Wow. Better than Bloodborne 2, huh?
Better than Bloodborne 2.
Oh, jeez. Does it have an amygdala?
Yeah. It has some weird fucking shit in that game, and, like, I think...
Dude, what if it turns into Cthulhu and shit? Like H.P. Lovecraft and Zelda? Oh, my god. Oh, my god.
I think it'd be really dumb.
Dude, what if you fight... Oh, man. I wanna... They don't have items in that game, right? Like, they don't... There's like the weird magnet shit, but like those powers aren't really items in the traditional sense, right?
Powers. Yeah, you get like your powers off at the start of the game. That's it.
Because those are like actually my favorite things about Zelda are the items and the dungeons and the combat, and those are the 3 things that are like the weakest parts of this game.
Yeah, I think you'll like how the powers get... I kind of like how they get introduced right at the beginning. They give you these like fun sets because you can really... All the shrines are tailored around using some of them in weird ways, and that's kind of fun.
But like, what if you could get the Pegasus boots? What if you could get the Rocks cape?
Yeah,
like...
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd like them to give you these items at the start so you can like explore and have a lot of fun with them, and then start giving you more that like influence these abilities even more. Like, I like for someone to be able to get those items and beat the game with just those items, but also like, what someone could keep something that would like influence how you move a little better, or get how you can fly a little easier and stuff like that. Like they do that in this game, but not with items. With like how you beat dungeons, they give you like a special ability. But I don't think that they're as good as they could be. Like, I almost feel like I like the core idea of the items. I feel like if they want to do shrines again, my suggestion would be maybe like you do I'm trying to like think of how this would work, but if like you do a shrine like shrine A, then you can get shrine B after you do shrine A. So they keep incorporating on puzzles, you know?
Right, because that's the problem, is the give and take of having you do everything at once means they can't be that deep. They can't build on each other.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like the open-ended. That's why I think a linear dungeon design is better, theoretically.
Yeah, And I almost think that that's the good part, but like I also like missed the part where like I went to a dungeon, I went to a shrine and so like there's minor, major, or like minor something, and then like major test of strength. Those are like you fight like guardians who are really strong, can fuck you up. And I went from like a mod, I think it's minor, modest, major. I did like a modest, and then just literally jumped off the cliff of the modest one and went to the shrine at the bottom of the seat, and it was a major one, and I was like I had like gotten one health upgrade, so like 5 hearts, and or like 4 hearts. And I was like, let's go, and ran in there and I beat it. So like I knew how to fight well enough. I learned the flurry rushes. I knew how to get in there. I had some good equipment I found earlier. It took a lot out of me, but like I did it, and like that feels so good knowing like that stuff was like not available, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I think some things have to be like you find them organically and they can be really difficult, but also like some of those puzzles should be iterated on as you find shrines. Like if you get A, then you get B, then you get C, then you get D, and that gives a more linear approach. I don't know if that just goes against what they want, and like I'm trying to figure out what that game is in my head, you know?
There's got to be a nice fusion of ideas, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe the shrine has floors, so you do the first floor, and it's like come back once you can do the second floor.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a good fusion almost. It's like then like that destroys some like that cool organic feeling of finding something totally unique in that game that no one else would find. It's like if someone does A, then everyone's gonna get B right afterwards.
Right.
Like,
I think that's the interesting.
Yeah.
Is that they're so diametrically opposed.
Yeah,
I'd love to see the real hybrid that capitalizes on the strengths of both and isn't brought down by the weaknesses.
Yeah, I think the best thing would be is to actually put real full on dungeons and maybe just keep the shrines around. Like, keep shrines and just give us full on dungeons that are really good, like a lot of good full dungeons.
Yeah.
That'd probably be the best way to do it. I think that game could be really cool, but that game would also be like fucking monstrously huge again, like this one. So let's see if they can do it.
See you in 10 years.
I'd totally be fine waiting for like another one of these games for 10 years, you know, because like this game was so good.
Do you know what I realized is that every 10 years is an amazing year in video games.
Every year games get better, man. It's just the rules.
1997 often said is the best year of all time for games, right?
But 1998 was better.
Or is it 8? I'm sorry. You're right, it's 8. But then you have 2007, which was the last good year of video games until 2017.
I feel like almost every year games get better in weird ways that I can always enjoy how games look different.
Yeah.
And speaking of games that I've been playing recently that came out a while ago but are still really good, and the sequel's coming out pretty soon. I beat Wolfenstein: The New Order again.
Yeah, tell me about that.
I just I cruised through it. I crushed it.
What
I played
difficulty?
on the hard difficulty, so like the one up from normal, which is like I Am Death Incarnate or I Am Uber, something like that.
There's only 3 difficulties?
There's 4. It's Please Don't Hurt Me Plenty, I Am Uber, I Am Death Incarnate.
So you did Death Incarnate.
I did I Am Uber. I did the 3rd one.
Okay,
so I did like the hard, not the nightmare, you know?
Got it.
That game's difficult, also on hard. I don't know if I appreciated like it being that much harder. I kind of like just running through and shooting Nazis in the head with dual machine guns a little more. You know, I kind of like the I'm a little stronger. I can take more hits and just blast people away in a first-person shooter style. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's still really fun, still difficult, still cool. That game's I appreciate that game way more than I did previously. I thought it was really good, but I played it like a weird time in my life. I play it now, still a weird time in my life, but like I understand things better. That game's amazing. That game's so fucking good. That's a game I'd recommend playing right away almost if you haven't played it. It's really awesome.
Have you played the Old Blood?
I've played the Old Blood before. I've started playing it again. I just didn't want to play it anymore. I burnt myself out real quick on Wolfenstein, so I beat that game in 2 days.
Got it. Yeah.
That game's a pretty solidly long campaign. That game is like, you want to talk about games that are for mature audiences. Wolfenstein: The New Order is for mature audiences. That game's awesome.
Yeah.
That game is super weird as like the diametric opposite of how Doom was designed in a way. Of like Doom's over the top, bloody, gory, and the main character doesn't speak and is like whatever, like does like has like a very funny characteristic. Like Wolfenstein's bloody and like over the top in some ways, but it's very like the main character is very subdued in his thoughts, and he's like almost poetic in how he speaks. It's so interesting. You played Wolfenstein, right? Or did you not play it?
I did. I got to the part where
try and invade the Science Institute. The dude like crashes in to break down the doors and like
Yeah,
suicide
yeah.
bombs. That's where I stopped.
Gotcha.
I think that's like a third through the game, probably.
Yeah, it's like a third.
Okay.
I think BJ Blazkowicz's characterization in this game is probably one of my favorite characterizations of a character in a game so far.
Wow.
I forgot how good it was, how interesting he is as a character, how much like sadness he has in him in a way of like they don't talk about a lot in the game, but like how he describes his sadness or his stuff is so interesting. Like his inner monologue is so cool throughout the whole game of like not being like he's a cool guy, like his thoughts and like what he thinks and what he's thinking about everything is like very interesting. And like a lot what all the other characters say about his thoughts or like what they think about the American dream and stuff like that is also really interesting. And I forget all of that. I forgot all that was in there, and it's still really good. And it gives me so much more hope. Like they're gonna tackle America the way I want America to be tackled in the new Colossus, you know?
Yeah.
Because like there's a great moment, and not the timeline I was playing, but the other timeline. I didn't play the other timeline, but I remember it. And I rewatched a video on it because it's still good. Jay, who's like pretty much Jimi Hendrix, you know, from
Okay.
he's is and the what's his name? I can't remember the other kid's name now. The not Fergus, who I saved, but the young kid. You have you have a different base member then, and it's Jay, who's pretty much Jimi Hendrix, but in this Nazi timeline. And like you come back and you talk to him, and they're like talking about why you're not fighting and stuff, and they talk about America, and he goes, like pretty much America, you guys were the Nazis there in America. You guys just won. It's like pretty much the takeaway. And like Blazkowicz gets real pissed because he's been fighting Nazis. He like throws him up against the wall and is like, "Don't you fucking call me a Nazi?" And he goes, "Oh, always resorting to violence, just like the man." And I really like that take on America because it's very true to history. It's why I'd like a Native American almost in the new Colossus, because like that take on like, well, America were Nazis to Native Americans. We did do a genocide on them. And like that's just historical fact.
Mm-hmm.
That like we were like, no, we're just gonna actually kill them all and take their land, and then we did, and like we didn't, no good ending came from them where the Americans rushed in and saved the Jews. It was we fucking killed them. The Americans rushed in and killed them all, and then made them leave and murdered them. Like that's just the historical precedent we put. Like I'd love to see more of difference than just like I think they flood that world with interesting characters. I'd love to see more interesting characters about like the American dream isn't the same for everyone as it was for like the white guy who went to fight the Nazis.
Do you fight
like,
Hitler in that game?
You do not fight Hitler in the first one. He said in an interview, he said we assume he's like we like these games as a trilogy. We can't end with a banger.
Oh,
so,
I didn't know. Oh,
so
shit.
he wants to make. They're probably gonna make a third one, and that's when you fight Mecha Hitler. So
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
I want to be introduced to Hitler in New Colossus. Then you want to see
yeah,
him now.
You want to see something.
Yeah.
Old characters from New Colossus, old characters from New Order and New Colossus, like the crazy lady. I forget her name now, but you pretty much rip off her jaw in the first game, and she comes back in the second game with like a repaired jaw that looks disgusting. I hope so. From the new Colossus trailer was still very animated and very funny and very crazy. I hope there's still a lot more of that subdued BJ Blazkowicz just kind of inner monologue thought, because I like it so much.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if they do pull it off. Like I kind of have faith that they will.
I trust Machine Games with a lot because they've made some of my favorite. They've made almost all of my favorite first-person shooter games, including this one.
Good pedigree.
Escape from Butcher Bay is one of the best Xbox games and one of my favorite games ever made. It was like the turning point for me understanding what stories could be in games. Really.
Wow, never even heard of it.
In a way, it's a Chronicles of Riddick game. That's why I picked it up. It's a Vin Diesel Chronicles of Riddick game.
Okay.
But it has nothing to do with Chronicles of Riddick. It's when he escapes from a place called Butcher Bay. And that game's like very story driven, very not great like very weird combat, like very scroungy style, but like you're scrounging and you're not finding anything. And it's like very difficult. And it's awesome and it's really weird. And it's the best part about Chronicles of Riddick still. And I like Chronicles of Riddick because I'm crazy. They made some great stuff. I'm hopeful for this game. I think it's gonna be really cool. I just hope it has like some there's so many good lines in Wolfenstein: The New Order. There's so many like intricate character pieces and like good backstory. It's very simple and sweet for them that you find throughout the game. And like a lot of the characters, like when they die, it's not like a happy hoorah. It's like a depressing note. You know, like their death words aren't like, they're like, be strong, but also remember we're all alone in this. Like, you were always gonna be alone. You'll never be with someone. And like that's how that character dies. And you're like, that's fucking sad. And then he dies. And like there's like a lot of like good, like a lot of less of like haha hoorah stuff, and more like, yo, this shit's bad, and like, and it's not good for everyone, and like people have to understand like the same, what you think isn't the same for other people. Like there's a lot of great like little messages in there. It's so well crafted, and then like you have this great gameplay of like dueling a assault rifle that's shooting rockets while your other assault rifle is just blowing bullets away at people, and like it has like this crazy combat's a lot of fun, but also like this very well done storytelling that like I don't think, like where Doom had the gameplay, I thought the story was mediocre. This is like the mix that I've always wanted games to be, and I totally forgot it was there.
I'm so glad you've rekindled this.
Yeah, I'm so excited for the new class. Like now, new class is like up there. Is like I can't fucking wait because that game's gonna be so dope.
What is that? October 27th.
Yeah, it's soon.
Wolfenstein, Mario, and Assassin's Creed on the same day. So I guess Wolfenstein is now your immediate play over Mario.
Yeah,
huh?
oh yeah, definitely over Mario. Mario's never been my immediate play. I love Mario, but like Mario's a game I can enjoy anytime. Where like Wolfenstein's a game I want to devour. You know?
Okay. Well, this is great because you can devour that. I'll devour Mario. We'll have a great podcast.
Yeah, and then we'll play. We'll play. Or I might just like do a little mix of both, like I always do. Yeah. In the last game I've been playing, I decided I'd been playing another open world game that you might have seen. A game that I think has a really great world that's less better if explored, but better with characters, and that's Witcher 3 I've been playing again.
That's right.
And not the DLC, because I played a little bit of it and was like, I just want to get my own character, and I couldn't find it, so I'm playing from scratch Witcher 3.
Wow, you madman.
Which will be a while, because that game's long, but I'm like not playing a lot of it. I'm on like touching it here and there. That game's phenomenal still.
Yeah, the only game that could rival Bloodborne for 2015 GOTY.
Yeah, it's The Witcher 3. That's because like that world, that's a world that's so well developed and so large that it's weird how well developed it is. Like it's only that well developed because someone made a bunch of books and they made games, and those games splintered off from the books, and then they let those games do whatever they wanted, and it becomes this whole world for them to play in. And like I love the lore of that world in that game, of like there wasn't magic and then someone fucked with magic and then opened up created like a giant rift almost, and that's how monsters suddenly started appearing through that. And so people remember a time when there weren't monsters like in the world. Like there's like history of like there weren't monsters and then there were, and then they created witchers because we need to deal with monsters, but people fucking hate how witchers are like also magic imbued, so like people fucking hate witchers, but you need witchers to get the job done. But like people are like, we can do it without them. Like all this like dynamicism comes from like these empires are coming here, these empires are fighting, and you're now dealing with these empires in the middle of a fight, and you're in the middle of it, and you're dealing with like just like I want to do my job while trying to find my like surrogate daughter, and like all these dynamicisms start like coming into play, and it's all just weaved so well. And like Geralt's such a good character. Like that game is like, storytelling is still like, CD Projekt Red knocks it out of the park every time with their storytelling stuff. They've just only gotten better, which is why I'm excited for their Cyberpunk game.
Yeah, really.
That game looks awesome from that one trailer, and I just expect the best from them. But that game is like
20 plus.
Yeah, that game's like 5 years out of the way still, probably. But like whatever. Let them make their time with their games. Their games are fantastic. But like, man, Geralt's such a good character, and like he's like I like making my own characters in games, but I also like playing characters in games. And he lets you can make choices for him, but he still feels like his own character, you know? Like you kind of have your own Geralt, but not really.
And that's a tough line to walk too.
It's really hard, but like your Geralt might side with the Nilfgaardians maybe, or not, or like not. I think like maybe he can. I forget which exactly the choice, but like he very much is stilted in his own way, but like can be off in his own directions. And he's like so many like weird wise words of wisdom. I love that like the combat's not amazing, but I love that like when before a combat like you're like doing your Witcher shit, like trying to figure out what a monster here is, and like him just being like finds two things and goes, yeah, it's a Noon Wraith. Like I know it because I've been doing this for how goddamn long in my life. I'm almost 100 years old. I've been doing this for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, because like the Witchers live a long time, so like they can just get old, and so like he's been doing this for like 100 years. So like he's like, yeah, I'm just kind of used to doing it. Like he like finds two things and goes, that's a fucking noon wraith. Like I knew it. Like let's go deal with it. Where's the bracelet so I can burn it on top of the corpse?
He just talks
And,
to
like,
himself.
Dude, like that guy talks to himself all the time. Like,
Yeah.
like whenever you track something, he just out loud goes like, footprints, bloody, been here a few days. Should be far, probably Nilfgaardian, and like continues on.
Huh.
And like, and I almost think it's normal for him to do that because he's just alone all the time. Like Witchers don't leave lives with friends; they're solitary people.
Uh-huh.
They're outcasts. They're like people can like pretty much act like they're lepers because they're like weird cat-eyed, magic-wielding, excellent swordsmen, monster-slaying monsters to them. And he's like pretty much a normal dude, but he's just super jaded, and like their emotions are suppressed very easily. So like they don't have a lot of emotional show. But like there's a lot of like snark to him and like anger in there that you can see, and like emotion that like is coming out in ways that like it's very small, but like his voice actor is so good at showing it. He's playing Geralt for how long? And like all that stuff is just shown so well. And it's like I forget how good the characters are in The Witcher 3, like how much I like all of them and how much a lot of people are pieces of shit, and like how much I like its political theater of like how much people are like garbage, but also people want the right thing, but they think the right thing is bad, or this right thing is actually wrong to them, and like they have actual opinions about it. It's all really good, and how much of like a piece of shit you can be to like just speak your fucking mind to people and call them dumbasses and stuff is so much fun. And they won't change things, but like one time, so at the very beginning of the game, you have like help a dwarf find an arsonist, pretty much. Arsonist burned his house down. I find him, and he's like, "Oh, don't send me back. I'll give you some money. I was drunk." And I'm like, "No, we're taking you to the dwarf." And the dwarf just straight up goes like, "Hey, guards, come here. This guy burned my house down." They just hang the dude. And it's like that quick. I'm like, "What?" And like the responses are like, and Geralt doesn't really care that much because he's seen so much death. Geralt is like, well, another hanging, whatever.
Yeah, he's unfazed.
Like,
He doesn't.
at the beginning of the game, you walk by 3 people hanging in a tree pretty much because like shit's just so wrong right now. Like people invaded and razed these homes, and he doesn't like. He's like you made your choice in games. So, like the choice has been made. He's not gonna be like, "Oh, I can't believe this." It's like, okay, you made your choice. You knew this was gonna happen. Even if you didn't, he did in a way. You know?
Yeah, he
like
chose to burn the house.
Yeah. And so you're like, so my response, I love your two responses. And my response is still like, the villagers like burned his house because they don't like him, you know, like that's the dwarf has been making armor for the Nilfgaardian, who are an invading force. But the dwarf isn't getting paid money for it or anything. He just has to do it because he's going to get killed if he doesn't, pretty much.
Okay.
But the villagers don't see it that way. They just think dwarves are greedy subhuman races because that's how they see subhumans anyways. Because there's a lot of racism in the game. Wow, like real world. But I think it's even done better than it usually is in like games where it's like, wow, racism, am I right? Like this game does it appeasingly well because it doesn't make it about racism towards other people. It makes it very much about racism towards these races. It doesn't try to like create that bridge gap a lot of the time, which is good because black people aren't dwarves, and that's people should know that. You don't try to create black people aren't androids, David Cage. You should make that difference. It's still there. Like it's like the thing where it's like superheroes are getting racist against. I'm like, yeah, but black people also aren't superheroes, and like it's super like then you're believing in the super predator theory, and that's fucked up. So don't try to make those gotta make it very, you can make it so people can identify, but don't make it the same. That's always important, I think, for that kind of, for racism stuff. It's super important to make it identifiable, but not like, actually they're the same, you idiots. It's like, no, bad. So that's like, and then like my character's just like, yeah, the humans are gonna love you now. And I come back after like a turn of events, and he's pretty much like, everyone keeps not getting armor from me. The dwarf is like, no one's getting armor from anyone. They're going like half a mile, like they're going like a couple miles away to get armor for someone else who sucks. And Geralt pretty much just goes, if the Nilfgaardians leave, you have to leave with them because the humans will turn on you in a second, and you just bounce. And they're like, they'll fucking kill you. You need to run. And like when they leave, you run. And it's like very, I like that, like that the game has like effects of things that have happened, things have moved on in this world a bit from this point.
There's world progression.
Yeah, the combat's not amazing. It's fun. It's like, but it's really easy. It's very blasé. It's nothing amazing. The leveling up's very like small and like confined. When you level up, it's like it takes a long time. You have to do like a lot of quests to level up, but there's a lot to level up. So you just got to do a lot of quests. There's a lot in the world, But the combat's very much like press square, square, dodge, maybe press triangle for a big enemy, and then keep pressing square and dodging, and like maybe cast some spells here and there. But it's pretty simple stuff. But like I just like that world a lot, and it's a lot of fun to play in.
Yeah. I wish I could play The Witcher 3, but I have to play 1 and 2 first.
Yeah, so and I've played Witcher 1 and 2, so it's
Nice.
it's so much fun getting into that world. I played Witcher 1 when it released, which was a fucking bad game when it released because it was buggy,
That,
it was
like,
nightmarish, it was a mess.
12 years ago-ish?
It was so long ago, man.
My god.
I didn't understand it when I first played it. Then I replayed them all like a couple of years ago, and then like played Witcher
And
1 and 2.
2's good, but not on 3's level, right?
No, none of them are as good as 3, but 2's really good in a lot of different ways. Where 3's easier than 2, because there's like it's a bigger open world, bigger stuff to deal with. 2 very much is like, hey, if you're gonna fight this monster, you need to sit down and fucking figure out how you're gonna fight this monster. Where in 3, you can get away fighting monsters without like doing a lot of your get up, unless you're fighting a really high level monster. Then you should probably do your pre-setup stuff. But like in Witcher 2, it's like you need to sit down, pull out the potions, and like start figuring it out. Also, that game's like super stingy with money, which I kind of love in these games.
Economy.
Economy's tough to like get. Like you're a Witcher, you do work for money, and like that's how it works. You need to bargain for money.
Yeah, like
you don't get a lot of money.
My friend is actually playing through right now. His name is Chase Weaver. I'm not kidding. Both the Chase Weavers are playing Witcher at the same time on my PlayStation Crossbar. I thought it was hilarious. And I was talking to him in party chat, and he's like, yeah, like, I need to get all this money for my sword because I just spent it all, like, upgrading my armor and shit, like, repairing it. Like, I have no money. This is bullshit.
Yeah. It's so... I love it so much that you're like, all right, I found this junk. I need to sell something. Like, also, I should break down some of this junk for materials so I can craft better stuff. And that costs money to dismantle my stuff from an armorer. And so you're like juggling all these money stuff, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna sell this. I'm gonna play some Gwent against this guy and get good at Gwent. So I can
just gamble it
off
all.
him. Yeah, I got good at Gwent, motherfuckers. I've been good at Gwent for years.
When does Gwent come out?
It's like in beta, so a while.
Fuck. Okay.
But I think we're gonna call it a day here because we gotta go do shit now.
Yeah, we do.
So that's been the Objective Perspective. I'm Chase.
I'm Joe.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye. That was a great episode.
Only time will tell, so I'll wash my hands of it. That mess of presence makes me nervous, and I don't deserve this. What could I do? You didn't ask for this, so I'll wash my hands of it. I was doing so good. Been a long time since I felt this way, but you cracked that shell. Only time will tell, so I'll wash my hands of it. That mess of presence makes me nervous, and I don't deserve this. What could I do? You didn't ask for this, so I'll wash my hands of it.